everyone, I hope you all are doing fine. So we started with chapter 9 grade 6 CBSE and the name of the chapter is Traders, Kings and Pilgrims. So in the last class I talked about how did we come to know about the trade practices and more about the traders. From which part of the globe did we have those traders? Now we were talking about new kingdoms that thrived along the coast. And I was talking about Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. Here I started to talk. And I also mentioned about some of the important names that have been mentioned in Sangam poems, which means the ancient Tamil poems by the poets. It is Movinder. So in case you've missed that session, kindly watch it. It talks about the three chiefs, these Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas. So they were very powerful around 2300 years ago. As I told you, each one of them, they had two capitals. One inland and the second one at the coast. Inland and coast. Inland and coast. So they were very famous with respect to their cloth and also pearls. They were very famous for their pearls. So what happened? Two of the most important kingdoms I also wish to share with you are the locations of these capitals. One of them is right at the source of, at the mouth of Kaveri. That is Puhar, and you also call it Kaveri Patna. This is the port related to Cholas, Puhar or Kaveri Patna. And the second being Madurai. I earlier also talked about Madurai. In case you've missed it, we find existence of cloth here. So please watch the previous chapters. Madurai, which was the capital of Pandyas. Is everyone clear till here? Now what happened is there's something very interesting I want to tell you. These three kingdoms, maybe Cholas, Cheras or Pandyas, they never used to collect taxes from the people. Right? The people were still very happy. What they used to do is they always used to accept gifts, some kind of tribute, voluntary will pay, whatever people are ready to offer. So they always used to get it. And also, apart from that, what they used to do is they used to take help of their army to go on and, have a military expedition in different areas. So they might go here, Sri Lanka, different places. And whatever they used to get from all those locations, whatever treasure, whatever wealth they used to get, they always used to spread, they always used to share that wealth with their supporters, with the people who used to write for them, the different poets, and also soldiers. Yes, so everybody was very happy in their kingdom. The poets have elaborately mentioned, the Sangam poets, the poets of ancient Tamil Nadu, they've clearly mentioned about what kind of gifts, donations they used to receive from the chiefs. Fine cloth, precious stones, gold, horses, elephants. So if you keep your people very happy, they are always going to praise you. Right? But what happened is, around 200 years later, when these Sangam kings, or I would say this Chola, Cheras, Pandyas came to existence, came to power, 200 years down the line, there was another important kingdom that started to exert its power. And you can see clearly, it's Satavahana Empire. Right? There was another kingdom. So these Satavahanas are also known as Andhras in the Puranas. Now these people, they were very, very important because these people, they actually controlled they were at the doorstep of if anybody has to cross from north to south. Right? So not only they were called the Andhras in the Puranas, but also they were known as Dakshinapatha. Now what is this Dakshinapatha? It basically means Lords of South. They were sitting at the entry of the area that allowed all the rulers to get into this place where we've got enough of gold and other things. So these people also, they used to send their army to different locations, here, or east, west, or maybe the south coast. So let me tell you something about the Satavahana's ruler. One of the most important ruler of Satavahanas happens to be Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni, right? He's one of the most important rulers. We know about him, because we've got some of the inscription, imbibed stuff, composed on behalf of his mother, whose name was also Gautami Balashri, right? So these Satavahanas, as I already introduced you, as I already told you, they were known as Dakshinapatha, which means the lords of the south, and one of the most important Satavahana rulers of that time was Gautami Putra, who's named after his mother. It's Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni, and we know about him from one of the inscriptions, right, composed on behalf of his mother. So it was basically written on behalf of his mother, whose name was Gautami Balashri. So from where we get to know that he is the son of Gautami Balashri. Is that okay? So these people, they were literally sitting at the route that was leading to the south. And they were also using two most important languages of that time, that is Prakrit and Sanskrit. So this is some extra bit of information that I wanted to share with you. All right. Now let's move on to a very interesting topic that you guys been waiting for, the story of Silk Road. Now you all might be aware of this stuff, that silk that we wear today is extracted from the cocoons, like here you can see these white shells, cocoons of silkworm. Can you see this extraction being done? So then it's spun into thread. You can see here this thread, the fine lines, white lines, they're thread. And then we just put it together to get a cloth out of it. So this to thread, and finally you get a cloth out of it. So this technique was mastered by Chinese around 7,000 years ago. Yes. The blue lines that you see here, they're all the silk route leading from China, passing through India, passing through land route, crossing the land, crossing through the water bodies to different parts of the globe, especially Africa, Europe, Arabia. This route is mentioned as silk because the silk that we wear nowadays, it was also famous back then. But the process was quite complicated. A lot of labor was involved in this. It wasn't that easy. For years, it was held very close to a set of people living in China only. So these people who prepared, who got the silk cloth, they used to travel through dangerous routes all the way to different parts, and that made this cloth quite expensive. Not only the process, the complicated process of making silk, but also traveling to distant lands on foot, on horseback, on camels, and carrying it with them became quite a task. So that made it very, very expensive. It was through land route, it's through sea route, and back then we didn't have any kind of safety measures. Everybody didn't carry a cell phone with them. So what happened is, as these Chinese rulers, they started to interact with rulers of different countries, like maybe Iran or maybe the Western countries of Asia. I'll show you where exactly do we have Iran. Okay, here you guys can see, here this part is Iran. So from China, when these people used to go like here, here, or maybe countries of West Asia. So when these Chinese people, Chinese rulers, they started to establish relations, then around 2,000 years ago, the rich people of Iran or maybe rich people of Europe, especially the kings, they started to wear this very expensive cloth because it was carried through dangerous routes, mountains, deserts, and of course all the people living here on the way, they started to expect some payment, some sort of bribe in order to let these people pass. So it was quite a task to go from here. It's like you've got pirates everywhere. Here, you're playing a game and you have to pass all those hurdles to reach here. To be able to be successful to reach here, it could even take your life. Now, so was the case. There was a branch that used to spread, that used to take people, that was basically, if you can see this branch going here, right? So one branch of Silk Route, it even entered Indian subcontinent, was going through Indian subcontinent. And at that time, here we've got Kushan Empire, which had its capital as Mathura. They also had their capital as Taxila. They also had their capital as Balgram. So Begram, Taxila or Mathura being important capitals of Kushan Empire, they were very influential back then. And they controlled that large portion of the routes. A very important branch, a very important link going through this area. So they also wanted to take benefit of this. So what they did is anybody, not only these empires, these people, Kushanas, but anybody who would see this Silk Route passing through their area or, they were living very close to this area. They wanted to capture this area because they wanted to impose taxes. They wanted to get gifts here and become rich. Or at least offer safety to the travelers, going through their kingdom from any kind of robbers or their attack. So there was a bright chance to be rich while you're sitting in the route of that, from where the traveler is going to carry the silk. Right? And so did the Kushan Empire did. They, having around 2000 years ago, they started, capturing this area, and they started to get gold coins. And they were the earliest rulers who started to issue gold coins at this point. So they were basically used by the traders here. So definitely we people, the Kushan Empire, started to get gold coins. Isn't that amazing? So let me repeat it for you. The Silk Route was back then controlled by the Kushan Empire. If you see this empire here, it controlled most part of northwest India and also part of Central Asia. So there were many important capitals, but out of them, Mathura is there, Taxila is there, Begram is there. There's another capital, that's Peshawar. So basically the idea is that they control this area. In order to make sure that the travelers pass this area, they have to pay some sort of tax, some payment, and they started to receive the payments from the Roman Empire. And they got so many gold coins that they became the first set of people, earliest rulers to issue gold coins, which were used by the traders back then in this Silk Route. So that's all for today's session. In case you guys enjoyed the session, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.